Hey everyone, welcome back to Living Survival. My name is Ben, and today we're going to take a look at my everyday carry for 2020 so far this year. Alright, so let's start out right with the knife. This is my front left pocket here. I'll do my pockets and then we'll move on to what's on my body here. I've been carrying this for a while. It's a beefy knife. This is the ZT 0308. Another big guy in the 03 series here for ZT. It's a nice looking knife. Got this nice textured scale on the one side, frame lock, and a nice pocket clip here. It seems to have good retention. CPM 20V. It's one of the new ones from ZT. You can see you have a different handle scale on the other side. Same sort of texture though, so it does feel good in the hand. It's got a very rapid deployment there. A nice beefy blade. You can see how thick that blade is, how wide that blade is, and then how thick that blade is. Lockup is absolutely perfect. I've had no issues with this knife other than it's just a little big. You know, I'm used to carrying the Paramilitary 3, and honestly I'll probably go back to that. But for those of you that like a bigger, chunkier knife, I mean, this thing is a beast. It feels really good in the hand, and it's just a chunk of a knife, definitely capable of doing your everyday carry needs there. So that's in the front left pocket, clipped on with a pocket clip, or sometimes I have a secondary knife pocket that this slips into. Next in my front left pocket here, this is my wallet. This is just a little nylon wallet from CountyCom. I love this thing. I've had it forever. You know, it's got a lot of wear and tear on it. I put just a little paracord pull on it. It's got a clip on the back. I absolutely love this thing. It holds, you know, it's just like a little change purse. It holds plenty of cards and cash. You can also slip other things down in here, like medications if you needed to do that. Certain little survival items, a couple band-aids, a little Fresnel lens. You can put a lot of stuff into this little zipped pocket. I don't have to worry about losing the contents, and it's small and light enough that I can take this while backpacking and hiking. And for as much wear and tear as I've, you know, as long as I've had it, it's still holding up really well, and I don't think it was that expensive. So, little zippered wallet from CountyCom. So front right pocket, I have my keys. I just have the key fob for my car here. I have one of these little True Utility clips here. It works really well. I don't really like the Night Eyes ones, especially the ones with the locks on them, because those locks come undone. And those things, the gate opens fairly easy on them. But this one's got a really secure gate on it. I've had no issues whatsoever. And I kind of like the length too. So, you know, my keys aren't all jumbled up in one, and it folds nicely, so I can, you know, so it makes a small imprint in my pocket. And I've really gone quite minimal on my keys here. I just have a couple keys here. Have my Swiss Army knife, just the classic A-locks. You can see it's well worn. Nice to have a little pair of scissors if you have to, you know, cut a thread off a piece of clothing. Nice to have a little knife, you know, just to open mail, or if you've got nothing else on you. And then I used to have the little Streamlight key light on here. That was in my last EDC update video, but I have now switched back to the i1R from Olight. So I haven't really ever had this on my keys. That's why there's not a whole lot of wear on it. But I have it on my keys now, and it is rechargeable. You just unscrew the cap here, and you've got a micro USB slot there that you can recharge this. So it's pretty nice. I think it's got 2 light levels. You screw it until you get to that first light level there, which is that, and then you screw it even tighter and you get the brighter light level. So it's a little nicer than the Streamlight. I found with the Streamlight, having that light bar on the bottom of it, you know, it was okay for in and around the vehicle, but if I was walking around and just needed some light, letting the dog out, for example, and I forgot to grab another light, something like this comes in really handy. So that's my keys. Pretty basic, pretty minimal. Also in my front right pocket is a pen I've been carrying lately, a little EDC pen. This is called the Alt pen. Pretty interesting little pen here. You do have just the pop top there, and you can write with it. There is some grooves here for your finger, which is nice. Pretty minimal, pretty sleek, pretty lightweight. This is the slate aluminum, I believe. They do come in different colors, but on the tail end here you have the capability of storing some bits. So they send you a bunch of bits with this, some Torx bits, a couple Phillips bits, a flathead or two, and you can store up to 4 of those in the back here. You've got this little magnetic tray that rides in the back of the pen here. It's just this little clip here, and so you can store these little bits. Now the only problem I have with this pen is that the bits that it came with are not very useful to me. They came with some really small Torx bits. You know, I'm generally using, I believe this is a T6 and I believe a T7. So I'm usually using the 6, 7, the 8, or the 10, and it didn't come with any of those. So when I'm going to adjust a knife, for example, if I want to, you know, remove the pocket clip, you know, pocket clips are all pretty much the same when it comes to the size that that they use. So I really need these two particular bits, but it will take these small micro bits, which is nice. So you can just grab a pack of the ones you need, and then you can store them in the pen here. So up front, where you have the actual pen, that just pulls out. You've got this little sleeve that the refill sits in. Here's your tiny little refill, and then the front of that works just like a bit driver, so you can put the little micro tool in there. It is magnetic, so it holds it in there real nice, and then you can work on things like, you know, sunglasses, or you can work on things like your knives, tighten them up if they need tightening. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I've been using this pen. It's one of those things that you kind of just think it's cool at first, and then you kind of go back to you know, to what you're used to. Similar with the ZT knife, you know, I'm just not comfortable or used to carrying just such a big heavy knife in my pocket, so that's probably why I'm going back to the PM3. You can get those down in there, the bits, you can stick 2 more bits in there. So I just carry a Phillips, a flat, and then 2 different Torx bits. And the back side of the pen screws on here. Now it is nice because it is that sleeve prevents those bits from rattling around in there. Now once you get that cap screwed on there, you can notice that there's no rattle at all, so that sleeve in there keeps those bits nice and secure in there. So I've had no issues with it. It writes really well, and I like it. So this is in my front right pocket as well. Then also in my right pocket, or in another cargo pocket, for example, I have my phone. This is the iPhone X. Haven't upgraded or anything like that, still rocking this phone, still got a perfect display on it, and this case is just brilliant. I've had this case ever since I got it. It's a Spigen case, but I've dropped this phone so many times on concrete, on tile, on, you know, any kind of surface, any kind of floor. I've dropped it any which way you can think of. You know, I've dropped it sideways, I've dropped it directly on its face, directly on the back, and from some pretty good distances too, and I have yet to have anything happen to the display or to the phone, knock on wood. So I really like this Spigen case, and it's still nice and low profile, unlike if you have like an OtterBox or something like that. Again, I try to stay as minimal as possible, so it really doesn't add too much extra bulk to the phone, and it's got these reinforced corners on it. So you've seen this in a video before, and still using this Spigen case. Just a couple more items here. We can go what I usually wear on my body. These are a new pair of sunglasses I got. These are the Arnett polarized. The other ones got really scratched up. Those were some Oakleys, and I was actually pretty disappointed in the Oakleys for how scratched up they got, but I'm happy with these. They're really lightweight. They don't get very hot, especially when I'm on the water fishing, and then of course I've got that polarized option for when I'm on the water. Moving on to the belt that I've been wearing, this is the Kore Tactical Gun Belt. This is the best, by far the best webbing belt that I've had. I've had a lot of other ones with the Cobra buckle. I've had several different tie buckles, and those were all great, but the buckle that they have on this Kore system is absolutely fantastic. So right off the bat, when you get it, you notice that it's really heavy duty. This can carry up to like 40 pounds or something like that. So you've got like a nylon on the outside, you've got a center core in there, and then you've got, I'm not sure what the material is on the backside here, sort of a leathery material. This does come in leather as well. Of course, that they don't recommend a heavy gun or heavy equipment on that belt, but you can get it in all different colors, and you can get it in the leather or in the webbing here. I really like this black. It's really sharp, sharp looking. When you get it, you actually cut it to size. So they have these increments on the back side here, which is really cool. And then you just cut it with a sharp pair of scissors. And you can see here on the buckle, you have two different Allen screws here, and then there's like some jaws or teeth. So you just slip the end that you cut in there, you flip over the jaws, the teeth, it clamps down on the webbing, and then you tighten those two screws. This thing is not going anywhere. The brake strength on this is like 500 pounds. I know Wrangler Star hung one of his heavy generators off it and even stood on it. So I have no doubts that this can hold a ton of weight. And I've been wearing this every day. I don't see it fraying as much as some of the other belts that I've had. I mean, even after like a month of use, I'll get fraying on some of the other belts, especially if they're single layer. But coming back to the buckle here, you can see that you have this multi-teeth channel in here. And what's so cool about this belt is not only do you just thread it like a normal belt, you don't have to take a piece off this side like you do with the Cobra buckle or some other type webbing belt. So there's nothing to take off. You put it on your pants just like you would a normal belt. And then this side just sticks in here and it ratchets. So the more you have in here, it just continues to ratchet. What's great about that is not only is it a super secure fit, but let's say you have too much to eat or something like that, or maybe you're sitting down, you're in the car for a long time, or you're just sitting at work, and you want to just loosen that up a little bit. So there's just this little lever on the bottom here, and you just pull that back, and it loosens the belt. So basically you can tighten it in these small little increments, get it really tight, get it as tight as you want it, you know, really tight when you're wearing a firearm, for example, and then you can just really easily loosen it up. Another thing that this belt is really great for is inside the waistband carry. So you know you have to have a little bit looser, you know, settings on your belt there, and this allows you to just totally configure it for that. So if you're not carrying, for example, you can tighten it up to your waist. If you want to carry, you loosen it up just a little bit. Still going to keep your pants nice and tight. Still going to keep that firearm nice and secure. And speaking of firearm, that is the final thing that I'm going to show you today. Still using the Shield 9mm, but I did get a new Kydex holster for it. This is made by G-Code. It's a paddle style holster. They make fantastic sheaths. Of course, it's got excellent retention on it. You can adjust the attention with this screw up front here. It is open on the bottom, which I prefer, and I do prefer outside the waistband carry. Again, it's just not comfortable for me really to carry inside the waistband, but this gives me a very low profile way to carry it outside the waistband, and then it accepts all different size belts here, so you can loosen that screw up, you can adjust this, there's even little notches in there, it's loose anyway, but yeah, you can loosen that up and you can notch it so that you could wear the belt up top, you could wear it on the bottom, all different size belts depending on what, you know, what belt you're wearing. It fits real comfortably to my hip, and it works really, really well with this system. So I can simply just thread this on to my belt, and I can tighten this thing up in any kind of increment I want to keep that firearm nice and secure. There's almost no wiggle with this, which I've had with other holsters. I feel a lot more secure with this on my side than with other holsters that just have a you know, a clip, for example. Even a Tek-Lock kind of makes it stick out a little bit further, and so I'm really happy with this this holster from G-Code and this belt from Core Belts. So there was one thing that I forgot to include in the video, and that is the Casio smartwatch. I did a previous video on this. You guys can go back and check out the specs on that, but I have been wearing that watch. I may go back to the Garmin, I'm not sure yet. I really don't use the smart features as much as I thought I would. And there are some features on the Garmin that I might like a little bit better, although this does have a nicer screen and, of course, the newer, up-to-date features on it. So who knows as far as that goes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today and give it a big thumbs up for me. Please share this video to any friends or family who might be interested in any of the products that I've shown here. If you're interested, there will be links below to where you guys can find out more information or purchase these products for yourself. If you're new here or you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of new videos.